Alrighty, YouTube, what is going on? We are back with the third and final part of this cool little Ultimate Edition series that I've been doing. We started it off, if you're new to the channel, let me backtrack here a little bit. We started off with my top 10 what I thought were the best Ultimate Editions made by Mattel so far, up until about Ultimate Edition Series 22, was it? Yeah, probably around there. So we went through the top 10. It was controversial. Some people didn't like it. Some people thought it was horrible. Some people said, I respect your opinion. Whatever it was, I'm just glad you guys watched it and enjoyed it. Then we moved on to the top 10 worst. I didn't hear much backlash from that one, and it got more views than the top 10 best. So I think you guys agreed with me on the worst. Hopefully we're on the same page. If not, go watch that one, drop a comment, let me know what you think were the top 10 worst Ultimate Editions. And if you're new, again, welcome. Here we go into the top 10 what are my favorite Ultimate Editions. So it's not the best, it's not the worst, but these are my favorite. So this is the most opinionated one of them all. There's no real rhyme or reason. It's not because the figure looks better than others. It's not because the figure was rare or it's the hardest thing to find. These are just my favorite. These are the ones that I look at and go, okay, if I had to kill my collection down to 10 figures, 10 Ultimates, who would it be? It would probably be these 10. So here we go, let's get into it. I do have two honorable mentions that I could not leave off this list, and I had to throw them in here. So let's get right into it, starting with the honorable mentions. So I should mention too, this list is not going to be pre-ranked. I don't have a ranking. I just have the figures here, and I'm going to be pulling them as I'm making this video and just kind of going 10 all the way to 1 based off of me looking at it right now and going, this is my favorite out of these 10, and this is my least favorite out of these 10 that I've pulled. But let's get into it. Honorable mentions, like I mentioned before. Starting off, we have the Ultimate Edition. I believe it's Series 13. Fact check me in the comment section if you know and I'm wrong, but this one may be one of the best figures ever made of this person, but I do have some favorites that were in the thumbnail. You'll see. I had to mention this one. It's the Ultimate Edition Series 13 Hulk Hogan, and this figure, guys, to me, this is what comes to mind when I think of Hulk Hogan. So for it not be in my top 10, there is a reason for that, and I'll explain later. But there's been a ton of good Ultimate Edition Hogans. This figure looks so great, though, to me, that the iconic just Hulkamania red shirt with the yellow trunks, the yellow boots, the head scans on this one, this is just one of those head scans. They killed the head scans. I think they knocked these out of the park. It came with that old school world title as well, and this was in the same wave as Mr. T. It's just a great figure and representation of Hogan. I think they knocked this one out of the park, and it didn't quite make my top 10. Hogan's in there, so that's kind of why, but it's a great figure, and I had to mention it because I really wanted to give this one its flowers in my top 10 videos of Ultimate Editions at some point. I felt like I couldn't make 3 videos about Ultimates and not include this one, so he had to be in here. Ultimate Edition Series 13. I hope I got the right series. Hulk Hogan, he's the first honorable mention. Alrighty, the second honorable mention that I picked was one that was in my top 10, and then I moved things around and he just fell right outside. This guy, if I could make a top 11, he would be the 11th. This is one of my favorite Ultimates, and it's just so hard to make an Ultimate Edition top 10 favorite list because I love all the Ultimates. There's so many that are way out of left field that you would not imagine me to go, I really like that Ultimate. Like, for example, Alexa Bliss. I think they killed that Ultimate Edition. Bianca Belair killed that Ultimate Edition, but they're not in this list because I have ones I like more, and they weren't in the top 10 best because I thought there were some that were better, but they deserve to be mentioned. Can't mention them all, so the other honorable mention that I have is the Animal Batista. This thing, let me try to get some good lighting on it for you. This thing is awesome, guys. I love this figure. They actually, it was so sought after that they re-released it with a different color pattern. It had silver, I think it had silver boots or silver boot pads. It had blue trunks and some white and black on there as well. But they re-released the figure, and that's how sought after this one was. I know it was it was a quick seller, and I think it sold out of Target before it went to clearance. I might be wrong on that, but I never saw this on clearance. I bought 2 at full price. I maybe even had 3 at one point in a trade that I did. Really like this figure. I have the blue trunks on card, and then I have, I think, 2 or 3 loose. So really a big fan of this one, and it's a great figure. It was such an iconic time for Batista, and this is the animal. Like, this is the Batista that I imagine. I know a lot of people like that 2008, 2009 Batista right before he went on his hiatus, but this is the Batista that I know and love, fighting the Undertaker, things like that. Really a big fan of this one, and it had to be somewhere in this video. Alrighty, top 10. This is the time I've really not been waiting for. This is the hardest thing I've had to rank. I know I'm going to get ridiculed in the comments for some of these. You guys don't hold back, and I appreciate that. I like that we're on that level where you could just say, hey man, your list sucks, and I can just go, okay, I understand. But this is all opinionated, like I always say, so I'm really excited to get into this, starting with top number 10. All right, number 10, top number 10, number 10, probably just that. This guy made it in just over Batista. It was a really close call, and I ended up putting him in it. I love the attire. Love the head scans on this one. I think they updated it so much from the Elite head scans, and I had to throw them in here. We have the Ultimate Edition, Ruthless Aggression, I believe, Series 1, maybe? Excuse me, Ultimate Edition, Rob Van Dam, guys. This thing, look at this. On the money. The attire came with that WWE Spinner Championship. Multiple hands on this one, and really good head scans. Just so different from, let me try to get a good look there. Such a different head scan than the Elites. It looks more like Rob, I think. Can't really show you as much as I'd love to because he's got that title belt on him. But again, it's not a figure review, it's just a top 10, so I won't get too into it. You guys have seen this figure, it's been out for a while. Really big fan of this RVD figure, and I think they knocked it out of the park. They also did like detachable ponytails. I wasn't a huge fan of that, to be honest with you. I know it's probably because they didn't want them to snap off, and then you just didn't have the ability, you had to super glue it on or whatever you were doing, because I know a lot of the ponytails end up falling off. So actually, now that I talk about it out loud, it was a pretty good idea by Mattel, but it was kind of weird to me to see them all in the packaging, like as accessories. I don't know. He's number 10, RVD. All right, at the number 9 spot, guys, this is another one. It was very, I think this was a controversial one. I think people were not exactly saying that figure sucks, shouldn't have made the top 10, but I know that people were like, this top 10 is crazy, it's ludicrous, when I said the best top 10, and this guy made it in. He was like my number 2 or 3, so he is in my top 10 favorite. At number 9, we got AJ Styles. This thing, again, I don't know how you guys don't think this is a top 10 Ultimate Edition. If you are arguing that, in the comment section, let me know why it's not. But to me, again, it didn't come with a title, so maybe that's a reason for you guys. I threw the title on mine, but this figure's phenomenal to me, no pun intended. It's got the blue attire that really pops with the white. You can make this into a TNA custom, because I know he wore pants like this in TNA. The soft goods, hoodie, the leather, soft leather too, like bendable. It wasn't like that rock hard that took forever to get off. But it's overall, man, a really, really clean figure. So I don't know, I'm kind of surprised if you guys don't think this is a top 10 figure, but comment down below and let me know. He's number 9 on my favorite list. Number 8, you know I had to put one of this guy in this top 10, and he just fell to the number 8 spot. I think he could have been even a little bit higher, but due to the feet, he fell quite a bit. So we have at number 8, the John Cena Royal Rumble Return Tire Ultimate Edition. This thing is phenomenal. I threw the WWE Championship on there. I think he came with the WWE Championship because maybe he, around this time, maybe he was walking into Mania or fighting Orton and Triple H at Mania for it. But I think he lost, so I don't know really why he came with this, if he did, or maybe I threw it on there. I'm not quite sure, but really a great figure overall. Make sure you guys get a good look at that. The head scans on the Cena Ultimates I've always really liked. Of course, this attire is really favorable amongst the fans, I think. Such a great return, but like I said, the boots or the shoes for some reason, Cena's shoes are always really hard to stand him up, and it just makes his figures fall for me a little bit, because every time I think of him, I'm like, oh man, he's gonna fall. So I don't know. He fell to number 8. Maybe could have been higher because I love Cena, but I don't know. He fell at number 8 for this list. At number 7, guys, we have one of the most out of left field Ultimates to make it into my top 10 favorites. I didn't put them in the thumbnail because I wanted to surprise you guys and see what you think about this figure. I thought this was a pretty slept on figure in my opinion. I think it's one of the, again, it's in my top 10 favorites. I think it's one of the best Ultimates they've done, and that is the Coliseum Collection George the Animal Steel Ultimate, guys. This thing is on the money. It came with so many cool accessories, like his little pet toy monkey guy. I can't remember his name. He had a name. Can't remember his name. Really cool though that he's in there. And the toy monkey, I don't want to drop it, but he has like movable arms and everything, so a lot of good detail in on that. You can see the head scan with that blue green tongue, whatever it is. Thing just looks perfect. And then he came with the ring post that he would chew up with a little bit of like some cotton type material coming out, and it's soft goods. It was just a really cool Ultimate. Soft goods shirt, obviously. The chest and arm hair detail, I thought they knocked this one out of the park. And obviously, you know, the Coliseum started to go on clearance, buy one get one type of deal on Mattel Creations. They weren't moving maybe as highly as they thought that they were going to move. I think they knocked this one out of the park though. Every detail, everything about this figure was just on the money, and it was great. I really enjoyed this figure. Had to put it in my top 10 favorites. He fell in at number 7. At number 6, guys, we have an Amazon exclusive Ultimate that I have really loved since day one, since we saw the render for this and we saw the release on Amazon. You know, the picture go up and then it sells out in 2 seconds, and then you have to find a way to get it. If you were ordering the Ultimates when they first started coming out on Amazon, you know what I'm talking about. They were kind of hard to come by, and then you would get them like a year later after you pre-ordered them. That was a whole spiel. We can talk about that another time. But I had to throw this one in there. I know that it does have some flaws, but it's one of my favorites, and that is the Amazon exclusive Hulk Hogan figure. And I said Hulk was going to be in this top 10. He's in it. Just stay tuned. Red knee pads, you know, I don't even know why I'm talking about the attire. It's Hulk Hogan, you know the attire. It's the reverse of the honorable mention. Yellow shirt, ripped on the back. Thing just looks phenomenal. Hulkamania running wild, and he came with that black eye head sculpt, which again, some people didn't like it, some people did. I happen to be one of the people that liked it. I know the skin tone on the earlier Ultimate Edition Hogans is not perfect. I'm aware of that, but something about this figure, I think I have 3 or 4 of them in the collection. I love this figure, and it's really toyetic to me. Knocked it out of the park. Mattel, thank you for making this. It's a great figure. And if you guys don't like it, I want to hear why, because I don't understand why. I'm like, this is a good figure, but I want to hear why in the comments. So if you didn't like this one, you didn't like it being at number 6, drop a comment and let me know. At number 5, guys, we have another one that I'm gonna think this one I think is gonna make the most ruffling in the comments, being in my top 10 favorite. And again, it's all opinionated, I understand, and I'll explain why this one is in my top 5 favorite Ultimate Editions of all time. But at number 5, we have the Mattel Creations, I think it was fan backed, like a made to order type of deal. We have the Ultimate Edition Cody Rhodes from his WrestleMania return against Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 38 or 37? I don't even remember. I think it was 38. But this figure, guys, again, I know that he had the other Ultimate Edition in Series 21 come out that did indeed look better than this. The jacket looked better. This looks pretty cheap when you really look at the comparison on the two. But I will say this is in my top 5 over that one, not because I'm a Cody Rhodes fan, and I really like Cody Rhodes. Obviously, you guys see the shelf over here. You know that I'm a big fan of his. But it's because of what this figure meant to me when it came out. he had returned. We were waiting for an Ultimate Edition of Cody, and then all of a sudden we get the news that it's going to be made to order, and it's going to be on Mattel Creations. It's a $45 Ultimate, and it came in that really cool packaging with the little flap where you fold it down, and the figure's right there. You could pop it right out if you wanted to right there. If you were a barbarian, I took it out all carefully and such, but I have 3 or 4 of these ones too. I'm a huge fan of this figure. I'm kind of rambling, but I was really excited for this figure, and I think the build-up in my head of what this figure was going to be and what it was when it came, I'm still a fan of it now. I know that people compare the jackets. This one they don't like so much less than the plastic goods jacket. I understand. But for me, when this one came out, I was really pumped, and even now, still looking at it, I just get that nostalgia from when this released of, oh man, it's really cool. Look, it's got the hard plastic up here, and it's soft everywhere else. I don't know. It just did something for me, this figure, and I really, really like it. It still is one that I stand by. You know, I don't bash this figure and go, oh man, it was such a horrible figure when they released it. We all loved it when it dropped. I know some people were like, it's not as good as the AEW one with the molded jacket. I get it, but for me, this thing is awesome. And I know the neck tattoo's not perfect. I know everything about it, but I'm a huge fan of this figure. It had to be in my top 5, so it came in at number 5. At number 4 in my top 10 favorite Ultimates, we have the big red monster, Kane. This thing is awesome. I know these things still kill me. The elbows when you bend them being skin colored and not the red, it bothers me. I know there were updates and some people were emailing them saying, hey, mine came with the skin color arm, can I get one in the mail? And maybe you got it. I was never one of those people. I just never got them in, never sent the email. So mine still has the skin colored arms, but it's still in my top 10. It's number 4. This figure was awesome. I'm missing the cape right now. It's somewhere around, but I love this figure. I love it. If you display it with the cape, without the cape, I have one displayed with and obviously one without. Came with the title, came with, I think, 3 head scans that were pretty similar, but this is just an iconic look for an iconic wrestler. And Kane obviously is one of those toyetic guys that I really love to collect. When a figure drops of Kane, it's hard for me, especially with the mask, to not pick it up. And when this one came out in Ultimate form, I had like 3 of them within the first month that it was getting sent out to stores. So love this figure and had to have it in here. Kane at number 4. Alrighty, we've made it into the top 3, and this is where it gets interesting. Again, I remind you, these are not the best Ultimates. These are my favorite, so bear with me. At number 3, I put the Rattlesnake, Stone Cold Steve Austin. And again, the reason for me putting him at number 3, I think this is a great figure. I think they knocked this one out of the park. Came with a ton of accessories, came with him in promo attire with the shirt. You could also put the vest on this one. It was also one of the first Ultimates, I believe, because this is an original. Like, I know they re-released it, but I believe this was one of the first Ultimates that has the back without the Velcro. You correct me if I'm wrong there, but I believe that a lot of them had Velcro on the back up until around when Stone Cold was released. So I'm a huge fan of this one. Came with a title belt, obviously fitting for Stone Cold. Hat, chain, multiple hands. Wish we could have got the middle finger hands, but we can't. I know it's like PG rated or whatever. Maybe we'll start getting them when it goes to Netflix. Maybe we'll get like a contract deal with the toys where they're like, we can make middle fingers on it. I don't know. Maybe I'm wishful thinking. But he had to be in here. He falls in at number 3. Big fan of this Stone Cold Ultimate. Alrighty guys, top 2. Here we go. At number 2, we have one that you guys have been asking me about, saying, where the heck is this on your list? Why is he not in the top 10 best? Have you been living under a rock? No, I haven't been living under a rock. I like to believe that the top 10 best, when I made that list, they were the first release of that figure. So, you know, I had Seth Rollins in there. It didn't take them another release, a second like re-release to fix it and make it what we wanted. It was a great Ultimate right when it came out. That's why I made it in the top 10 best. For example, I don't know. You can go watch the video. Go check out the video if you haven't seen it, the top 10 best. There were reasons why those guys made it over certain ones like this. However, this one is number 2 on my favorite list because I love the figure, even though it didn't look perfect and it wasn't what we expected for this era of Hulk Hogan. It is the NWO Hulk Hogan Ultimate Edition, and I have the original in my hand here. I'm still yet to pick up the re-release that had the proper hot dog skin tone, and it had the different joints. I think it had something else going on. I gotta, maybe, did this have butterfly joints? This one did not have, oh no, it does, I'm lying. Okay, there was something else about the re-release. Maybe it was just the skin tone that was different, but either way, I still need to pick that one up. But I have the OG in my hand because, to be honest with you, this was going to be in the top 2 of my favorites no matter what. If it never got re-released with the skin tone difference, if it came just like this again in the package, a re-release, I didn't care. This is a great figure. And, you know, the detail, everything about this figure, you can see there on the boots. Let me try to get a good image there for you. Hopefully you can see. Oh, brother. See Hogan on the boots? I hope you can. I don't know if you can or not. But the lightning bolts, just the whole attire, this is iconic. And this is the NWO. This is what I think of when I think of NWO Hogan. When I think of the NWO in general, I just see Hogan in my head like this. The spray NWO World Championship. Everything about this figure says top 2 for me of favorites. I'm a huge Hogan fan, as you guys know. And this figure is just out of the park. I think they nailed it. And I know that the skin tone wasn't right. We'll talk about that, you know. But I love it. Love the figure. Had to be my top 2. And at number 1, if you know me, you know who it is. I've actually said this many times in videos, so some of you probably came into this video knowing who my number 1 Ultimate Edition of all time was going to be. For my favorite, it is the Amazon exclusive, another very hard one to get when it first came out, Jeff Hardy. And you guys know Jeff Hardy's probably my favorite wrestler of all time. I go back and forth. I have like a top 5 that I can't decide on, but Jeff Hardy was a standout for me growing up, and a huge fan of his always, and met him a couple times. I think I met him twice now, and I'm probably going to meet him a 3rd time in November to get some more stuff signed. But a huge fan of his, and happy to see he's doing well. Hopefully he stays doing well in his personal life. But as a wrestler, this was the time to be a Jeff Hardy fan right here. Winning that belt at Armageddon in 2008, coming out on SmackDown, and this look the next following, I don't know, 5 days later. It was just an awesome time to be a Jeff Hardy fan, especially as a kid. And this figure just, it did it for me. I remember when the fan voting came out and they were like, which Jeff Hardy would you want it to be? And it was this one. It was SummerSlam against Punk, or the I think the retirement match, maybe the steel cage match. It was one of the 3, and I was like, man, I hope they pick this one, because this is the iconic look. When you think of Jeff Hardy and you think of the 2000s, being a Jeff Hardy fan, this is what I think of. So I'm really, really happy that they chose this one and that we got it in figure form before he left the company. I hope he comes back to the company and we get re-releases of things, new attires, some type of Legends deal. I just hope that he signs it, because Mattel kills it on Ultimates. They kill it in Elite form. I'd be pumped to get more Jeff Hardy figures, and I think he's one of the most toyetic guys of all time. So he was my number 1. I hope you guys agree with me, or not even agree with me. I hope you guys enjoyed the top 10, because really it's just you listening to me, hearing my opinion. I hope that you enjoyed this video, that you go back and watch some of the other videos and see what I thought the worst ones were, the best ones were, all of that. I really love doing top 10s, and this was something I was hoping you guys enjoyed as well. So again, if you do enjoy the content and you feel I deserve it, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It means the world to me. Share it with your friends that are collectors. Get them in this community. I really appreciate every comment, every like, everything that you guys do to support the channel. It means the world to me, especially, you know, coming home from school or whatever I'm doing, coming home from work and just seeing you guys commenting on the channel, leaving your support. means a lot. So thank you so much. Again, hope you enjoyed the video. We'll be back with more content soon. Take care. God bless as always, and we'll see you soon.